get our maintenance cycles, get all our issues worked out and the processes smoothed out. But this is our dispatch area where our personnel, Gary is one of our dispatchers, monitors all of our sites. We've got a little over 800 wind turbines right now that we're monitoring for the center. And what he'll do is sit here and monitor them. You guys have a background on SCADA and Vision Pro?
Well, familiar with it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, essentially what he does is he will sit here and watch and monitor the turbines as they fall out. When they fault, we'll communicate with CSC in New York and determine whether or not it's a resettable fault. If that's the case, then New York will reset the turbines. We don't have reset authority here.
Okay.
We have the capability, but not the authority. Big difference.
Yeah.
So what we'll do is we'll communicate with them, and if it's resettable, then we'll keep an eye on the turbine and see if it'll continue to work and function. But if it's not a resettable fault, what Gary will do is he'll assign that turbine to a team, and that team will dispatch out to troubleshoot the turbines. One of the things that we've done since the implementation of the center is we've brought online parts runners. So one of the things that was frustrating to our guys, our techs, is if we dispatch them out to fix a turbine, they'd go out there, climb it, troubleshoot it, and call back here and say, hey, I need a part. And we say, okay,
come get it.
Come and get it. So that's a little frustrating to have to climb all the way back down, drive back in here, get your part, drive back out, climb that tower again. So what we brought online parts runners, and they call for a part. We print out the CRF here in the dispatch area and give it to the parts runner. Parts runner goes over to a warehouse, gets the part, runs it out to the tech. So that's a process improvement that we've made a little better.
Yeah.
I'd love to get to the point where our parts runner drove around in a van with parts in it, but we're not quite there yet. We have a vision that maybe someday we'll get there, but we're not there yet. Maybe someday. So Gary will monitor all of our sites, as well as what he's got up to my left is a GPS tracking system where we can monitor where our trucks are. If you'll notice our trucks. When you see them, there'll be a dome on the top because of the GPS antenna. So the concept is that when it's up and running and functioning properly, is we can keep an eye on where all of our trucks are at any given time. Where that really pays us big dividends is safety. If they call and say, hey, I just got bit by a rattlesnake or whatever, which we haven't had that happen yet, and hopefully we won't. But if that happens, we'll know exactly where they're at. So we can get emergency services to them right away. Additional things that Gary monitors is the weather system.
And they're just asking me if they want to have you guys do the monitoring, what SCADA system they need. I think
right now, Gary is monitoring our sites. Indicated by these circles. The yellow circles are L1 or Lightning 1, which is 50 miles out. And the red circles are L2, which is a 30-mile rings. At L1, our guys can still remain in the towers where the lightning is still 50 miles out. But we contact them and let them know that you're in an L1 condition, and at any moment you can be told, hey, pack your stuff and get down.
So these circles indicate then just the distance to the site, or they are indicating actual happening events in terms of lightning?
They are indicating distance from the site. I'll back up a little bit so we can maybe get some activity so you can see what I'm talking about as far as lightning activity. We've got some storms. I don't see any lightning yet.
The one thing about this system is really great because the other day we had a major thunderstorm going through here, so we're able to give our technicians advance notification when they come out of towers. We know that, okay, the storm's going to be here in an extended period of time, so just pull everybody out and send them home. But I actually drove home based on this system in between major thunderstorm fronts. And when I left here, I drove all the way to Abilene, which is about 45 minutes, with basically no rain no problems. Whereas
Al was much smarter than me.
Yeah. You didn't follow
I was trying to get out before the tornado came. But you can see over here, you can see this cluster of these little circles. What the circles will indicate is ground lightning, and it'll indicate stroke age based on the color of the circles. Whereas the little zigzag ones you can see, those are cloud-to-cloud lightning. We don't differentiate between the two because it's both potential. Either one has potential to hurt our folks. So what we'll do is, like Al was talking, is we'll watch the storms, and typically our storms will track from a westerly to easterly direction. So we'll keep an eye on them and make judgment decisions based on what we have to complete for tasks. And safety. Safety obviously being the overriding consideration. So this is a very valuable system to us, and we also have it set so that if we get a lightning strike in here, and you happen to be over monitoring one of the center or one of the sites, we have it set for an audible alert. It'll actually sound like lightning, so and it's loud enough to wake you up. So those are the systems that our dispatchers will typically monitor in here: the GPS, the weather, as well as the sites themselves.
We were just recently discussing issues like people stealing the cables out of the even operating turbines, and wondering whether you can smartly recognize this by the remote control, or will they first, let's say, take out the fiber optic and you will just realize a connection failure, and you will go there next morning and see the cables are no longer there.
I suppose if they tried to take it out of an operating I've heard of stories like that, and I've heard of those people not being with us anymore, went to meet their maker, stealing cable out of an operating turbine. I don't have any knowledge of any events like that happening here in our area.
Whitewater, there's
Whitewater?
That happened in the Whitewater area in California, but not in our area.
And so then you're not, simply don't know how they do, yeah? So if they are that much familiar with the unit that they somehow trick you on the remote, yeah?
If they were going to remove any fiber optics, what we would see is our visibility on our sites would drop offline, and we would start investigating it, because we operate on a 24/7 basis here.
You will go there at night to make sure what the fiber optic breakdown is about? Or
we're always here.
So now you will go there out.
Yeah, we'll be able to see it. We have dispatchers, here all the time. Christmas morning we got a dispatcher sitting in here watching turbines, singing Jingle Bells.
Yeah, I understand a person sitting here, but I was wondering, when you just get an interruption on the fiber optic connection, you will probably not go out there immediately. You will probably assume, okay, this is probably just a connection failure, and make sure next morning.
The only way they could get copper wire is to shut the turbine down.
Yes, sure, but you will not recognize when they detach the fiber optic first what they do then.
Oh, well, I mean, I guess if it was
the turbine would have to be shut down.
Yeah, I know. Sure, that's not the question.
We would lose it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so
And if they didn't shut
if they were that well organized, where it was a smash and grab, I think is what you're talking about. Make us blind by getting rid of cutting the fiber optics. So now we're blind, and then they go shut down the turbines and go steal copper wire. That's a pretty organized group there.
Your copper is quite valuable.
We do have technicians on sites 24/7.
Okay,
but they're out there performing maintenances.
Are the units equipped with cameras or
no,
so?
No, we don't. I'd love to have cameras in every one of them.
Yeah, we actually have an RFQ for one of our customers. They want to have the nacelle equipped with cameras.
That would be fantastic. I love that idea.
Yeah?
That way I can dial in and watch my guys what they're doing.
Yeah.
Say, hey, get back to work. Put that sandwich down. Get to work. Yeah.
Or there's been times we've been in
I like that idea.
a level.
Elevators would be nice too.
Turbines,
Elevators and cameras.
Yeah. So okay. Yeah, elevators. We are offering these on a case-by-case basis to our customers. Yeah.
Do you help With this
Well, that's
type of
nice.
information, do you help
That would
out
be nice to
sites
start
that are
seeing those.
farther out of your service
I think we
area,
would start to
like
get
switch over,
see more longevity in our
can you,
technicians.
like, call them
Yeah, so
and say,
I've
"Hey,
heard
I'm
like
gonna
people
do
when
this,
once they're like 35 or so, they can no longer do the job because
Well, I
of
mean,
their
it's-
legs no longer
it's
working
very
properly.
visible, and what you end up doing, you're losing a very seasoned, qualified technician because
Yeah.
they say, you know, I love it, I love my job, I'm good at it,
But please bring the
but
nacelle down.
Yes, exactly. Bring the nacelle to me.
Yeah,
That's would be a great
Yeah, so
option.
in Europe we have even higher towers, like 100 meters is not something rare, and so also our technicians are really keen on getting the elevators there.
Oh yeah.
So I figured you must have a lot of GE people and other sites.
Well,
Yeah,
the site
that would be-
managers typically,
That'd be a good thing.
Mark Yanez used to work
That'd be a
for
good
us
thing.
here,
Yeah.
and he's one of the site